My name is Hal. This is Quail Studios Guitar. Thank you for being here. It's really great to have you here. I am a music teacher. I teach online lessons. I also teach local lessons. I have about 35 students. And I'm here to talk to you today about AI music. That's what we're going to do. We're looking at a couple of things. AI music and you. And it's pretty interesting because Rick Beato came out with a video just recently. Here, let me pull up. And he talked about an AI, what do you call it? An AI artist that went to #1. Anyway, I made a video about this, and I'm going to play the video, and we're going to listen to that just for a little while. And then I'm going to come back in and we're going to talk about some of the details. So anyway, glad that you're here. Thank you very much. It's great if you want to go ahead and just talk back and forth. That's not a problem at all. Who have we got here? We've got Bob. Hello, Bob. We've got Dean. We've got Dwayne. Okay, if anybody else is here, welcome. Put us in the chat. Where are you from? Oh, here is somebody. I can't read that. AIDE1. EE1. Okay. Anyway, welcome. Thank you for being here. Let me pull up something here really quick. I'm going to start a video. And
hello, friends.
That's it right there. Okay, here we go.
Hello, friends. My name is Hal. This is Quail Studios Guitar. Today, let's talk about the AI music world. Rick Beato came out with a video a few days ago about the country singer breaking rust with the song Walk My Walk that has hit the Billboard #1 chart. This is an AI generated artist. Let's talk about it. I grew up in an era where we didn't have digital, we didn't have AI, we didn't have any of that stuff. If you wanted to take a picture, you took a picture and it went on film and you didn't know what you got until you actually took it someplace and had it developed, and then you brought it back and you look at your pictures and you went, oh, that's no good. Oh, that looks good. Today, we get out our phones and we go click, 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 click. And then we look at what we've got and we go, oh, that's terrible, that's terrible, that's terrible. Oh, that's really good. You might take 100 pictures and save 30 of them. Or you might save all of them. You can do all that stuff and it doesn't cost any more money except your purchase of your phone. All right, I'm getting off topic, aren't I? What's happened in the music world is that when I was first recording, we had tape, magnetic tape. We had 4-track recorders, 8-track recorders, 16-track recorders, 24-track recorders. And so you had all these tracks you didn't know what to do with. Today, what do we have? In a digital audio workstation, it's called a DAW, you can have as many tracks as you want. You could have 256 tracks if you want to. But back in the day, if you had 8 tracks or 16 tracks to work with, then what would happen is that, let's say you were in the studio. I have a friend, his name is Howard Gale. He worked with Linda Ronstadt. He was in a session with her, and she was doing this song, and it wasn't coming out that great. She got a phone call. She talked on the phone to her boyfriend for a little while. She came back, and she said, okay, I'm ready to do the song again. So she did her vocal. This was the last thing that they were doing on the recording. She did her vocal. Howard said she nailed it. It was so good. And then a couple minutes later, she said, I want to do it again. And they're like, this was really good. And she goes, no, I think I can do it better. And so he said, well, you know, we're going to have to erase that track and put you over the top. She said, no problem, I can do it better. And then she did it again, and he says, it was never as good as that one take. And whenever he hears that song, it's like, I remember what it was before she did this take. And that's what happened back in the day when you only had 16 tracks to work with or something. You had a vocal on a track, and you had drums on several tracks, you had guitars, you had whatever you had. And if you had an 8-track player, this was even worse. So maybe you had one track for vocal, and that was it. If you wanted to do it again, you had to erase that track, and it was gone forever. So that's what happened to Linda Ronstadt on this one song. I don't remember what the name of the song is. My point is, today you can do multiple tracks. Let's go to my DAW, and I'm going to show you what I did just the other day. Here's my DAW, my digital audio workstation. Let's click on this, and let's listen to the beginning here. Now, I had some trouble doing this. This is actually the introduction to Ventura Highway by America. And I was doing an example of this on the last video. And this is what I recorded. And I kept doing it over and over, and I had a really hard time getting the timing right. So I decided to put a click track on this. Now, this is what it sounds like with the click. That's it. Okay, now what you hear is the click and my recording, and this is exactly what it was. I put it into my DAW, and I lined up the click pretty much exactly with the note that I was coming in on. And that's what it sounds like. Now, if we go through and look at this, you'll notice that when I came in here, I'm like 0.018 off of the click. Let's go to the next, let's go to the ending note here. And here I'm actually 0.017. Is that 1/1000th of a second off the click? That's pretty close to it. Here, oh wow, I'm 0.021 off of the click, more or less. Back here, I'm 0.036, or if you get a little closer, it looks like 0.31. And so you can see what I'm doing here. It's pretty close. This one's barely off, like 0.02 of a second off, 0.001 of a second. Okay, so there it is. So that's my recording. Okay, it sounds pretty good. Let's listen to it one more time. I was pretty happy with that. And then what I did was I came in, let's look at this, I'm going to mute the other ones, and I'm going to play the next recording that I did. This is the second guitar. Now I'm going to line this up right here so that both of these guitar parts start exactly at the same time. And we're going to listen to everything with the click. Did you hear what happened there? This was atrocious. The beginning part was okay. Okay, I can handle that. That's pretty good. Not too bad. But when I start to zoom in on it, okay, I'm a little ahead on my first one, 31, remember that? Look how much I'm ahead right here. This is horrible, 148. Did you see that? Let's do that again. 148. That's atrocious. That's terrible. Listen to it. I don't know how that happened. One of the things that we do for, to make things quicker is that we will actually do something like this. I can take that and I can move this over in my DAW, line it up. In fact, let's just line it up with the other one. You notice that it's a little bit off in a couple other places. Okay, right there. If I wanted to fix this, I could do this and move it over like that. I could even move this one over a little bit. And look, now they line up even better. Let's play that second part. See that? Quickly fixed. No problem. That's what's nice about digital today. Now, if we were still using tape, I'd have to do it over and over until I got it perfectly right, or as close as we need it. Okay, so that's great. It speeds up production a lot. I don't pitch correct. I never pitch correct. Sometimes I'll do this a little bit with a recording. If it's horrible, I will, go back and do it again, which I think is more old school than anything else. I mean, Howard used to tell me in the studio, he didn't like it very much, but in the studio what they would do is they would say, record something, and they're like, oh, that sounds like crap. Good, we'll take it. We'll fix it in the mix. Whether it was pitch correcting or whether it was, drums were off and everybody was off a little bit. If you're isolating everybody, the drums, the guitar, the vocal, then you can just correct it to where everything is about perfect. And that's the way they do it today. And they pitch correct everything. Now, have you ever seen Phil at Wings of Pegasus? Let's just pull up Phil just for a second here. I really like Phil.
And to stop this video getting blocked, we are just going to be listening to it phrase by phrase. So let's have a listen. All alone at the end. And that's all you need to hear. And that's all I needed to hear. When I listened to this live vocal, and I say live because it is the live vocal, but it's been auto-tuned and pitch corrected. So when we're looking at our pitch monitoring software, the other thing is that if you are sensitive to pitch, as I am, you can hear instantly when auto-tune has been applied. So it means that any song you listen to, like listening to this, it's now ruined for me because I know it's auto-tuned. It's got to the point where people in the studio, producers and people that are now editing this for a re-release, think that they're making it better somehow than a vocalist who was already great. You can't improve on it. Let's just have a listen to Randy singing this without auto-tune and pitch correction. All alone at the end of the evening. There's no way that anybody has ever listened to that since they heard it for the first time live and thought, oh no, that was really bad. That needs some kind of correction, or Randy's got to sing that again. This is the point that none of this needed to be applied. So we'll just jump into the next phrase.
Go look at Phil, see what he's got to say. The industry has got to the point where they pitch correct almost everything. In fact, pretty much everything. I'm at the point where I think I don't want to listen to pitch corrected music. I'm going to find the artists that are not pitch correcting their music and listen to them. If you listen to old Beatles recordings, some of the early ones, there's an album called Number Ones or something like that. There's like 30, how many is it? 31, 32 number ones that the Beatles had. If you listen to the old recordings, you can hear that everything is not lined up, everything is not perfectly in tune, but everybody went crazy over it, and we still love it. Why do we need to pitch correct everything? Why do we need to correct everything, every minute little detail? So I've decided, as far as pitch correction goes, I'm going to seek out artists that are not pitch correcting, and I may not be listening to a lot of stuff, a lot of modern stuff. That's just the way it's going to be. I'm going to be doing research into artists, especially new artists. And if they're AI, not listening to it, not going there. If someone is heavily pitch corrected, not going to go there. So if you are an artist and you are heavily pitch correcting your vocals, whether they're a cappella vocals or whether they're, vocals in your band and things like that. I mean, I don't mind if you do a recording and, there's this one high note and you're like, can we pitch correct that one note? I can handle that. I can forgive a little teeny bit of pitch correction, and I can forgive a little teeny bit of moving things around so that they're more acceptable. But this heavily digital age where everything is, AI and that kind of thing, no thank you. Not going to go there. All right, thanks for being here. I'm an actual teacher. I teach
There you go. That is part of my video, and that's actually the end of that video. Let's see if we can, let me look at the comments. Okay, so what we're talking about here, when I'm talking about auto-tune and that kind of thing, pitch correction, all of that, this is something that has been going on for a while, and now it's really coming to the forefront. It's like now we really know that there's a problem out there. So what's happening here is that it's like we're creating this fake music. You can go and look at that AI video if you want to. If you don't remember what it is, go back and listen to the beginning of my video here, and I talked about that. There are videos out here. Rick Beato came out one about quantizing John Bonham and how John Bonham's drumming, what he did was he took isolated John Bonham's drumming from Led Zeppelin, and he quantized John Bonham's drumming. He played it normal, and then he quantized it, and he's like, this is terrible. In the description of this video, it says, how would John Bonham sound today? So there's a link there. You can go listen to Rick Beato talk about that. But this isn't just something that's a problem with music. It's something that's a problem with a lot of things today. I was listening to the Pink Panther theme just yesterday by Henry Mancini, the original Pink Panther theme with the saxophone and everything. How would you pitch correct something like that? That's impossible to pitch correct something like that because there's just so much sliding with the notes, and everything is really loose. That jazz is just amazing. I don't think you can. But also, our society has been going downhill, and I've been told you have the perfect look for radio. Okay, you guys are talking a little bit about stuff. What do you think about this stuff, about pitch correction and all that kind of stuff? Let me know in the comments. I'm not seeing any comments besides, yeah, I guess you're still commenting once in a while. Okay. There are things that have been happening in all kinds of different places. Like, have you ever heard about the Great Light Bulb Conspiracy? I've got in the description of this video, I've got a video going to that. It's in the early part of the 20th century, like 100 years ago. These light bulb companies got together and said, we've got these light bulbs that just last too long and nobody's buying light bulbs like they used to. So they decided to shorten the lifespan of a light bulb so that everybody would buy them more. Let's see. Planned obsolescence. Let's talk about that as far as cars go. I got in the description of this video something called former GM engineer exposes planned obsolescence tactics. Like where they're dumbing down your, they make it so that you get just beyond the warranty place, the warranty time, and then your car breaks down. That's something that, is talked about. There's a couple of videos that I put in the description that talks about that kind of thing. So there's all kinds of stuff like this going on. Like, what am I trying to say here? There's people who want to make money, who on purpose make things so they don't last forever. I've got a car that's 97 years old. It's a Model A. It's a Model A two-door. And it still runs. And I drive it several times a month. It's really great. That kind of thing will save the planet, right? But you have a car that will be obsolete in 10 years. You have to buy a new one. That doesn't save the planet. So people talk about saving the planet and net zero and all this kind of crazy stuff. But this is just a symptom of what's going on. And the music industry is part of that also. We create these things that are not real. Let's see. I've got something here. 80 says, I don't think that AI is taking over real music. Nobody would go to concerts. Exactly. I wouldn't go to a concert. Rare Radio says, I blame the ones with the tiny hats for the degradation of society. With the tiny hats. Okay, I'm not sure I understand that. Okay. Hi, Lisa. How are you doing? I see you. Do you know the Ghislaine Maxwell's family writes your kids' school books? Yes. Well, yeah. Well, that's one reason why we homeschooled our kids. Anyway, it's really a drag when people, one other thing. I think it's really, really important that you own physical copies of your music, like DVDs, CDs, that kind of thing. Subscription music and subscription video and that kind of thing, where you don't own anything. What happens when someone that controls a subscription decides that that song or the movie that you used to like, something that was created 50 years ago, is not acceptable in our society, and so you can't find it anymore? Think of Song of the South, the movie by Disney. That's very hard to find. I did find it on YouTube today, so you can actually see it, but I don't think you can buy it online. I don't think it's there. Let's see. Anyway, social connections. These are really, really important. Yes, I talk to you guys. Okay, I'm looking at some stuff here. You don't think it's related to the topic? Yeah. Anyway. It's related to music because everything is related. Well, anyway, what's interesting is I really like to connect, and that's one of the things I'm going to do just after this is over. Is I'm going to get online with some of my supporters, and I've sent out emails, and I've sent out to my supporters where we can actually get together, and it's a private thing. We get together for about 30 minutes, and we talk about stuff. We talk about this. We talk about music. I get my guitar out. And I can also give a lesson. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, I support real music. I'm going to continue to support real music, and I hope you will too. And also, let's do things that are real, things that are tangible, and talk to each other in a personal way. Anyway, thanks for coming along. Let's see. Oh, Bob just took somebody out. I see. Anyway. Thank you very much, Bob. Sorry, Rare Radio. Yeah. Anyway, doesn't happen very often. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. I'm going to go talk to my people over on something called Rock Out Loud. It's a subscription that actually has it has really good audio. Let's see. I've got a lot of other stuff that I could talk about. Maybe I'll do that in the online when we get together. We won't do any more here. Thanks very much for being here. Let's see. I'm going to pull up my recording of A Whiter Shade of Pale. This is just the guitar part. I mean the chords. Thanks for being here. Yes, and you can find on my channel a lot of things that I do. This particular recording is there where you can jam along with it. Right? Anyway, thanks for being here. I hope this helps you out today, and we'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.